Hello friends, welcome to the first video of our series how to produce reports and dashboard in Excel from Tally Prime data. So in this video I will be first extracting Tally Prime data into CSV files, and I will be explaining that how exactly this data has been arranged and how to correlate the data. So I will be covering that what are the CSV files. So I export it in the form of tables. So each table represents a CSV file. So we will be importing first all those CSV file into our Excel and then correlating them using XLOOKUP function, which will help us to create reports. So in this part I am just focusing on correlating the data. From the next part onward we will be creating bar chart, pie chart based on that data. So let's begin. First, something about Tally setup. So I always keep my utility aligned to the latest version of Tally, whichever is available. So at present in May 2024, Tally Prime is the latest version. Okay. And you also need to ensure that if you go to help, about, so ensure this client server with ODBC is enabled and some port. So for my case it is 9000. You may change this port. Just ensure if you change this port you need to even modify this in config.json file. Okay. And if you are not aware how to enable this thing, you can go here into setting. Okay, connectivity, client server configuration, and you can enable and keep it to both. Okay, so this is a mandatory setting. Otherwise, utility will not be able to fetch any data from the Tally. Okay. Now let's download the utility. So you need to visit this GitHub project page of Tally to Database Loader. Okay, and ensure you don't download it from here. Okay, using this button. You need to scroll this a bit down and you will find a proper download page. Okay, and you'll find this download link. Okay, but before you download this you need to install some dependencies. Okay, so this utility is powered by an engine called Node.js. Okay, so ensure you have Node.js installed. So it is just one time, just like Java or .NET framework, Node.js is there. So I will right click and open it in separate tab. So okay, so you can use this button and download the latest version, whichever is latest. Okay, so it is a very simple installer. Just keep on pressing next, 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 and it will be installed. Okay, so once this Node.js is installed, so this is one time, you can download the utility. Okay, so let me go. So I'll click here and download this utility. Okay, so let me store it somewhere in my D drive. So I have proper folder for utility. Okay, so I will save it there, and you need to extract this zip file. So it is using 7-zip format. So generally I see WinRAR supports 7-zip, and if you don't have WinRAR, there is a software called 7-zip which is free and open source. You can download it and extract this utility. So I'm using 7-zip. Okay, so if I click show more, 7-zip extract here. Okay, so this will extract the utility. Now there is no as such installer for this utility. Okay, I will delete this 7-zip file. So it is simply portable utility, and you will not find any exe files. Okay, because this is powered by JavaScript. So there is directly a code there, no exe or compiled file there. Let me walk you through the utility. Okay, now there are few files for the utilities. Okay, so this is the main file called config.json. So I will right click and edit this. So I have a software called Notepad++ installed, again, which is a free. So you can Google it and install it free. So it is just like our normal Notepad, only it is a specialized and some better options. Okay, let me walk you through the options. So by default I set the database to MS SQL, that means Microsoft SQL Server. So various options available are, you can set it MySQL, PostgRE. Okay. Now, but in this video, I am going to generate CSV files. Okay. So I will double click here, delete this and write CSV and save it. Okay. And once you write CSV, all these settings of database are dummy. Okay. They are simply dead because utility will simply be extracting data from Tally and saving it in the format of CSV files. So it will not be pushing to database. So this is a very great option if you want to prepare reports directly in Excel from CSV files. Okay. Now coming to the Tally related settings. Okay. Now many people get confused here. Okay. So localhost means my Tally is running there. So it has nothing to do with where your Tally gateway server is. Your Tally should be locally running in your own PC. So you cannot keep your Tally running on some different PC and means try to pick data from there. Okay, that is you can do, but that sometimes doesn't happen. Okay, so ensure localhost is done. Okay, port 9000. So I already set this in Tally. If you set it different, modify this. Okay, from and to date. So this is in reverse format, year, month, and date format. Okay. Now let's say, like in my case, if I go to my Tally, so I want to pull data for the financial year 2021. Okay. So 1/4/2020 from date to 31st/3/2021. Okay. I will save this. Sync, it should be full. Okay. And company name, you have two options. If you keep it blank, it will automatically pick whichever company is selected and active in Tally. So you may keep 3 to 4 companies open, but whichever company is active, and so how do you find a company is active? It will be in bold. Okay. So whichever company is active, it will directly pick data from company. And let's say you want to be very specific, you can even do something like this. So my company name is Techno Traders space Ltd. So I can write company name here also. Techno Traders space Ltd. Okay, once I hard code any company name, even if multiple companies in Tally are open, it will still very specifically pull data only from tech company called Techno Traders Limited. Okay, so I will save this. Okay, so this config portion is ready. Okay, let me close this and again get back to the utility folder. Database, I don't need to worry because I'm not pushing this data to any database server. Okay, I'm simply extracting in CSV format. Okay, let's run the utility. So this is a run.bat file. If you double click, utility will automatically run and extract data for this selected period. So let me double click and run it. So you should get a window something like this. So it may take few seconds to minutes based on how many masters and vouchers you have in Tally. Let's wait for this to complete. Okay. So upon completion, this window will close out. Okay. Now after that, you should check one more thing. If there are any errors, okay, still window will directly close out. And here, this file size would not be 0 KB, error.log. It would be maybe more than 0 KB. So if you see any error, just ensure you double click and check it. Okay. So you can email me if you are not able to troubleshoot that error. And this is import log. So import log is nothing but whatever contents were appearing in that black window. So if you double click, so something like this would appear. And it tells how many CSV files or tables of tally it extracted. Okay. So this table list may change because I keep on adding tables in future versions. Okay, and even this version number would keep on means changing and updating. Okay, now if you noticed, so whenever I made CSV, okay, a CSV folder got generated. Okay, so if I double click here, there are a lot many CSV files generated. So this is a raw level CSV file representing tally data. So let's open any CSV file just on sampling basis and check if data was exported correctly or not. So let's say ledger accounts of tally. So I will double click and this should open this in Excel. Okay, so we'll say don't convert. Okay, so this option you get in latest version of Office 365. Okay, so something like this. So ledger names, their group parent is group. Okay, this should appear. Okay, and whichever ledger name. Okay, so this signifies that our utility was successful in extracting the data. So I will simply close this file and I will not save it. Okay. Now let's see how tally's data is structured in this CSV files. So we will have to import this CSV file one by one in Excel. So I will not be importing all the CSV files. Okay, only relevant CSV file just to demonstrate. Okay, so let me copy paste this path, Control C. Okay, and let me go to the Excel. Okay, so I'm using Office 365 version of Excel. Here in Data tab, whenever I go, I have an option called From Text CSV, or you can press Get Data from File Text CSV. One and the same. Okay, I'll paste the path and press Enter. Okay, and you'll find many files. So I think first let's start with group. Okay, group and then okay, so MST group. Now please remember there are multiple files. Few files are prefixed as MST and some are TRN. MST stands for master and TRN stands for transactions. Okay. So first we will go through master files. So MST, that means master group. Let me press import. Okay, so you can see something like this and I will simply press load and directly dump the data here. Now this is a now let me walk you through the some concepts that what is master and what is transaction in tally. So if I go in tally, okay, don't worry, this is a dummy company. So if you want to download this company, the link is there in the video description. Okay, you can download this company and whatever I'm demonstrating, if you want, you can also try this on this company, or better I will say try this on your own company once you have an understanding. Okay, so I will go to a menu called statistics. So go to statistics. Okay, so you can see in this screen there are two types of objects in or things in tally. So right hand side these are masters, okay, and left hand side these are transactions. So these are various, and transactions are divided on into various voucher types. Okay, but in my utility I have not divided this like this. Okay, so TRN means transaction, but different table means different things. Okay, I will come to the transaction later. First let's focus on masters. Okay, so group, ledger, stock group, item, there can be even more masters. Okay, so if you see, so MST underscore group, that means group, MST ledger, that means ledger accounts, like this. And you might find many more MST masters apart from this. So these are derived master. I will come to that even later, or maybe in some different video. Okay, so first let's go to groups. So you can see there are 34 groups. Okay, now if I come to Excel file, so I should find 34 rows. Yes, 34 rows load loaded. If I go to the last row, 35, and first row is a header row. Okay, so there are 34 rows. That means all my groups have been loaded. Okay, so you can see MST sheet called MST group automatically been created. Okay, so I'll close this window. And these are various fields. Okay, now there are many fields. Okay, in group table of Tally, but I am picking up only selective fields so that our data is not heavy. Okay, and we can comfortably prepare the majority or maximum reports from this field. Okay, okay. Now, what are various fields, or you can also say columns in group table? Now, GUID. Now, GUID, this is a very special field of Tally, so you will find in many tables. Okay, so GUID stands for globally unique identifier. Okay, so this identifier, so this is basically making my group globally unique. Okay, across multiple even companies of Tally. So generally, this number would even not clash with even other companies group name. Okay, so this will be generally it will be unique across multiple uh, companies also. So this helps identify that when I'm doing when I'm merging data for multiple company. So if I want to identify cash in hand of company one, cash in hand of company two. So this is something which give me an unique identifier. Okay. So group name, parent means under which group this group is there. Okay. Now what is primary group? So let's say in Sunday daters or raters, there are multiple hierarchies. So groups, subgroup, subgroup, subgroup. So if you want for any report that what is the basic nature of this group, so you can always refer to this primary groups. So it will always be written as Sunday debtor or creditor. Even if you have maybe let's say Sunday debtor, you divide it by industrial, then export, something like then another subcategory. Okay, so primary group would always be Sunday debtor. So this is for easy identification. Now something about this field is revenue. So what is easy revenue? So this tells that whether this group stands in profit loss or balance sheet. Okay, so if it is one means yes or true. Okay, so is revenue one? That means let's say if I filter this, so you can say all these groups are P&L items. Okay, direct expense incomes, and if it is zero, these are balance sheet groups. Okay, so you can see these are balance sheet groups. Let me clear this filter. Now something about is deemed positive. Okay, so is deemed positive is nothing but is this group of nature debit or not. Okay, so if it is yes or one, so the default nature of the group is debit, like Sunday debtors. Now you might have Sunday debtors with credit balance, doesn't matter, but by default Sunday debtors denotes or stands on debit side of balance sheet. Okay, so one means all the groups of nature debit, and zero means credit. So let's say if you want to on the balance sheet side, if you want to view liability side, so first I will say that zero, that means not revenue, that means balance sheet, and deemed positive I will say, so one is debit, so I'll say zero, liability side. So these are all my groups standing on my liability side of balance sheet. Okay, only exception to this is profit loss, so it is a bit different. Okay, so it might have this, but Tally specially treats it. Okay, so you will not find profit loss here. Okay, so there is directly a ledger of profit loss, but there is no group, so it is bit special thing. Affects gross profit. Now what this is, so let's say is revenue, I say true, that means P&L item. Now in P&L, if I want to identify which is trading and which is P&L item. So if I select one, it will denote this all the items are of nature trading account. So these are all groups which will stand in trading portion of P&L. Okay, and 0 P&L portion. Okay, 0 means P&L. So okay, so this was all about group. Sort position is nothing but Tally internally uses to sort that group or place that group. So it is ordering. Okay, that let's say in let me show you. So let's say if I go to balance sheet, liability side. Okay, so this is sorting order. So 10 is the lowest. So capital will appear first. Then after that 20. So loans liability. So this decides sorting order. So let's say in your report, you want to replicate your sorting or placing order just like in your company accounts or tally or however it is configured. You can always use this field to sort. Okay, so that your report looks exactly like tally. Now let's analyze ledger table. Okay, so I'll come to the sheet one, get data from file again, text. So I'm already on that folder, MST ledger. Okay, and let me press import and load. 45 rows. Let's reconfirm. So let me again go to tally, 45 ledgers. Okay, correct. Okay, now let's see this. Okay, so this is something chart of accounts. So bold, whatever in bold are groups. So I just want to focus on ledgers. Okay, let me come back. GOD I already explained. Okay, so now this is ledger name. Parent means under which group this ledger belongs. Alias is means alias name of ledger you give in tally. Now this you can even refer from group, but just for simplicity I inserted this field even in uh, a ledger table. Okay, not all fields from the groups you will see here. Okay, so just for simplicity is revenue and dim positive, so that you can at least check that in which side of balance sheet or P&L this ledger belongs. Okay, now in ledger you are going to find this field called opening balance. Okay, now opening balance is whatever opening balance based on the from date you selected when you export this data in the utility. So in config.json you set from date. Okay, so that from date opening balance has been picked up, not whatever opening balance your company has. Okay, so your company might be from financial year maybe 2017, but since we gave 2021 as a financial year, so this is opening balance for financial year 2021. Now remaining field, there are many more fields which you might need or might not need. GST number and that thing. Okay, there are many fields. So I will leave this upon you. Okay, so whichever report you want, you can reuse this, but maybe I will focus just on this. Okay, now one more important table is voucher type. So this you require for any bare minimum report preparation. So let's import this. Then I'll go to fresh sheet, data, file from text, MST underscore voucher type. Okay, let's look at this. Yes, MST voucher type and load. Okay, now the reason why I'm saying that this is a special, so you might not need this every time, but there are some special scenarios where you need this, like I have that scenario. Okay, so now let's reconcile. 28 voucher types are there in tally. So let me go. Yes, voucher type 28. Okay, now if you notice, there are 0 sales voucher, but in reality it is not. Okay, there are sales vouchers. So if you go to voucher types, okay, you'll notice, so I created So I didn't use sales type of voucher because I wanted my sales to bifurcate based on B2B or B2C. Okay, so I created two voucher types called B2B under voucher type called sales. Okay, so you might require this table if you have similar scenario. Okay, or for the safety, I would say even import this table so that you can safely use this. So if I go to this voucher type table, okay, now you already start knowing all this thing. Name and parent means under which voucher type it is there. Okay, GUID I will not again explain. Okay, now if you notice, so I am not going to see any voucher type called sales. So in that scenario, what I have to do uh, in vouchers, so I will not, whenever I refer voucher, so I will be referring voucher type parent and I will be selecting sales from it. Okay, so that this two or three voucher types are selected. Okay, because if I simply select sales, maybe no vouchers would be selected. Okay, so remember in such scenario you have to not refer to this name but parent, and unfortunately in voucher type or in in transaction data the voucher type name is referred sales, okay, which is B2B default. If you see there are B2B or B2C transactions. Okay, sales voucher of this. See, yes, so it is B2B. Nowhere there sales is written there. So in this scenario, you need to make use of this technique. Okay. Now there are many more master like stock item, stock group, cost center. Okay, but for this video I will skip. So I will be covering that in some other video. Okay. So let's jump to transaction. In transaction, we'll focus on accounting things. Okay, but very first we need to import transactions. Okay. Now there are two tables in transaction, TRN voucher and TRN accounting. Okay, TRN and accounting. Okay, first let's import TRN voucher. Let me walk you through TRN voucher. Okay, let's load. Okay, okay, now this is the very basic voucher table. Okay, so if you count the number of rows of this table, so 3644 minus 1 header row 3643, so there should be 3643 transaction in tally which are imported in utility. Yes, 3643. And please remember, optional or cancelled voucher would not be imported by this utility, they will be skipped. So if this total of your voucher doesn't matches, you need to deduct optional and cancelled vouchers from this. Okay, after that this should match. Okay, so all in all, there are 3,643 transactions here. Okay. Now GUID, so this uniquely identifies a transaction. Okay, and what are various fields of transaction? So first is date, on which date this transaction has occurred. Voucher type of the transaction. So whether it is B2B, so means it is a sales type transaction or contra or payment receipt, whatever. Okay, voucher number, reference number is your supplier's number. Okay, so I would not be using all the fields, so I will be focusing on the specific field. Narration of the voucher, party name. Now this party name is generally used only for generally sales or purchase ledgers, or maybe receipt or payment where sundry debtor or creditor is involved. Even let's say for contra you will find bank only in party, which is simply irrelevant. Okay, so this would be using mostly for sales or purchase register, where we require that this voucher is is for which party. Okay, and there are many more fields, like, so these are more GST related fields. Okay, now this uh, one two these two fields or three fields are very important for us. Okay, So first field is order voucher. Now in Tally, you have this system. So, like let's say if we take sales, we have first sales order. Okay, then we receive note. Sorry, we deliver. So delivery note and then sales invoice. So let's say if you want to identify that which are order, sales order type vouchers. So either there are two methods. Either in voucher type, you can go and specifically select sales order, or maybe you can simply select one here. So to select all the sales or purchase order type vouchers. Okay. Inventory vouchers. Now what are inventory vouchers? So let's select this. Okay, so that you come to know. So inventory vouchers are all those vouchers, okay, where there is any inventory effect, like delivery note, receipt note. Okay, so these are inventory. Now you will have to ignore sales order type of voucher from here. Okay, so I'll always have to ignore this. Zero means no. Okay, ignore. Okay, receipt note, delivery note, and let's say if you have stock journal, even that would be an inventory type of voucher. So inventory voucher is all vouchers where there is an inventory effect. Okay, like purchase and sale. Technically, or going by best stand practices, it doesn't have any inventory effect. Let's say if you are purchasing, so goods will enter when you have goods receipt note. Okay, so technically your goods are entering in go down during GRN. Okay, purchase is just signifying that an invoicing thing. Okay, so technically, so it's up to you. If you don't use receipt note and pay, delivery note, then interpretation different, but internally Tally is denoting something like this: delivery note and receipt note. So these are inward and outward of goods, and even stock journal. Okay. Now you must be wondering, there are where are debit and credit? Okay, so this is just a header level of any voucher information. So let me, I think, go through any voucher and try to locate any voucher. Okay, let's say if I go B2B voucher. Okay, and I have voucher in May. Okay, let me open this entry. So let's say if I want to locate this entry in this table, so it is B2B and 9th May. Okay, so let me come here. So I will voucher type, I will say B2B. Okay, 9th May. 9th May 20. Okay, luckily there is only one voucher. So if you check this, all this row matches. So voucher number 2021 CRP001. Okay. Okay, so this is the all the header level information of the voucher. Yeah, and Infosys was the party name. Correct. So this way you can refer vouchers in this table. And this is a header information. So this is an header information. 9th May. Okay. Voucher type, voucher number. Then maybe if you have supplier number, you can put it in reference number field. So this is an header. Even narration is a header thing. Okay. Now you would be wondering why there are no debit credit. Please hold on. I am coming to that. Okay. Now I will go here. Now let's import next table. Okay. Now our next table is accounting effects. Okay. Now you know the procedure. Get data this from text CSV, and table name is TRN accounting. So pretty descriptive. Okay. So this is nothing but an accounting portion of transaction. Okay. Let's load this. Okay, now you cannot tally this with like this from Tally, that how many rows are this. Okay, because this is an dependent table. It has no independence existence. Okay, now what is accounting table? It is pretty descriptive. So it has ledger and amounts. So definitely debits and credit or accounting effects of any transactions. Now if you see, this is the transaction number. So TRN voucher GUID. So this is a uniquely identifying transaction number for which we will get accounting. Yes. Okay. Now let's see. Okay. I'll go to this voucher. Let's zero down on this voucher. Again B2B on 9th May. Okay. I will come to TRN voucher table. Okay. B2B transaction on 9th May. You can something refer like this, or maybe let's select. Let's not have any confusion. Okay. Okay, I'm zeroed down on this voucher. Okay, so this was voucher header information. Okay, and this voucher has debits and credit. Okay, so any voucher will have at least one debit and credit. Okay, so any voucher should at least have two rows in this accounting table, or it can be more. So let's say sales, you have even GST, this thing. So there can be multiple debit credit. So let's zero down to this voucher. So what I will do, I will copy. Okay, I will copy this voucher number. Okay, GUID means internal reference number, and in this GUID I will paste it here. Okay, and press OK. Let me zoom this a bit. Okay, and let me even zoom this. Okay. Okay, so this voucher has multiple debit and credit. So there is thumb rule that debit is negative and credit is positive in Tally. Okay, so if you see any negative amount, it is in debit side, and positive amount, it is in credit side. And this should always balance. So if I now you'll have to apply this formatting. Okay, comma style, so that you can see. Okay, so sum total of debit credit is 0. Okay, so this is a sales entry. Okay, so party or Infosys is party debit. Okay, party debit, then sales laptop. So it is a sales ledger credit 36,29,192. Okay, 36,29,192, and there are CGST and SGST. Okay, 326,627. Okay, so now this entry is complete. So these are various debit, and so this is debit and these are credits. So this way you can identify. Okay, now one thing that how to easy, because this is very tedious. Okay, so this was just for explanation. Like this you can zero down and identify any vouchers, but let's say you want to very easily identify vouchers. Okay, for further reporting, how to do that? Because this table is not having any header information of voucher. It is simply containing debit and credit without any reference whether it is voucher is of types sale, purchase, okay, or on which date this voucher is, what is the voucher reference number. So these fields are matching. So let's see a technique of how to merge both tables, or maybe pull up few fields of this voucher table in front of this. Okay, let's see. Now there are multiple ways of merging fields from this voucher table into accounting table. Okay, so I will clear this filter. Even here I will clear, or maybe I can simply go and clear all. Okay. Okay. Now there are two ways. One is Excel way and other is Power Query way of doing this. Whichever method you are fan. So I will be demonstrating Excel way, because I know majority you people like Excel. So I'll be using function called XLOOKUP, not VLOOKUP. So I'm not fan of VLOOKUP, because XLOOKUP acts very easy in this scenario. Okay, so now which are the fields which we require? So first is date, voucher type, and voucher number. Okay, now if you notice, this is inside a table. Okay, so whenever I click inside this, so it is inside a table. So beauty of this table is that there is no cell reference. So it is just like a database. Okay, let me clarify. Okay, so let's say I want to add a field called date. Okay, in this accounting table, date, enter. Okay, so this will add one more field, so it is blank. Okay, now what is uh, now how I can know the date of this transaction, debit credit? So the only field which is linking or telling us is GUID. Okay, so I already demonstrated that how this two tables are related using this GUID field. Okay, so we will apply XLOOKUP is equal to XLOOKUP bracket open. So I will say that lookup for this GUID. Okay, now please notice there is no cell reference coming A2. Okay, it is not coming A2. So it's saying because this formula or function would automatically be applied to all the cells. So lookup for this GUID field. Okay, comma lookup array. Where to look? Where to find this? So I will go to TRN voucher table and I will press control space. So kindly find this GUID and look up for this GUID in GUID field of TRN voucher table. Okay, comma, and if I find this, which column I should be returning, so I will click somewhere here. So first one is date, so I will click here and again press control space. Okay, so currently it is B5, but I don't want like this. Control space. So I will say that please return the date, corresponding date for the GUID. Okay, bracket close and press enter. And if you see, automatically all dates. Now don't be confused. So this is in number format. You will have to format this cell. You have to go home and format this to short date. Okay, so like this date has come. Okay, so this is how my VLOOKUP. Okay, in this same fashion I can pull up even voucher type and voucher number or whichever field you want. Okay, let's quickly pull up say voucher underscore type XLOOKUP, find this GUID. Okay, here in this field, comma, and this field I want. Okay, voucher type, voucher number, voucher underscore number. So you can copy paste. Okay, voucher number. Okay, so this way you can merge table like this, and so you would be requiring even these two fields. Okay, is order voucher and in is inventory voucher. So now let me show you one more trick. Okay, so instead of, let's say if your columns are adjacent, okay, so you can even do something like this, but I think this would not work. Okay, so you can even pull up multiple columns like this. Okay, but that would generally work in simple cells, not table. So I think let's do normally copy, and I will a special field value. Okay, field value XLOOKUP like this. Inventory voucher and is it order voucher. XLOOKUP, select this field, go to this voucher table, home, select this field, control space, and is order voucher. Okay, bracket close. Now this way I don't need to refer this TRN voucher table. Okay, so I can simply say that, let's say I want to identify this entry. I'll simply say I'll go here and filter like this. Okay, voucher type I'll say B2B, date 9th May, 9th May. Okay, and this entry there. Or maybe let's say I want to filter all the B2B entries. Okay, I'll remove this filter for entire year. So all the B2B entries. Let's say I want to just view sales ledger. So I'll say only sales ledger. So you might have multiple sales ledger. Okay, like this. So all the B2B sales amount is there. Okay. Now you might say that where is the party? So ideally you should even be pulling the party name. Okay, so this is a homework for you. Lastly, don't forget to save this file. Okay. So in the next video, I will be demonstrating that how to create few reports from this. Like let's say I will be preparing few reports related to sales and purchase. Okay. So if you like this technique, do like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay with me for next video.